Hello everyone, and welcome to today's presentation. I'm Dr. S.K. Singh, and I'm excited to share some insights with you. The title of our talk is Errors and Uncertainties in Calibration. Today, we'll explore the common types of errors that occur during calibration processes and discuss how uncertainties can affect measurement accuracy. We'll also look at methods to identify and minimize these issues. I hope you find this session both informative and engaging. Let's get started. Let's start by understanding what calibration is all about. Calibration is a process that ensures our measurements are accurate by comparing our instruments to known standards. This way, we can trust that the measurements we take are correct. Now, errors are an inevitable part of measurement. They are simply the differences between what we measure and the true value. There are different types of errors we need to be aware of. Systematic errors, for example, are consistent biases that can skew results in a particular direction. Random errors, on the other hand, are unpredictable fluctuations that happen due to various minor factors. And then there are gross errors, which are often human mistakes or equipment malfunctions, things we want to catch and correct quickly. Next, let's talk about uncertainty. This is essentially the range within which we believe the true value lies, and we usually express it with a certain level of confidence. The sources of uncertainty can come from multiple areas, such as the limits of the instrument itself, environmental conditions, how repeatable measurements are, or the reference standards we use. Finally, the main goals of calibration are clear. We want to minimize errors as much as possible, quantify the uncertainty so we understand the reliability of our measurements, and ensure that our measurements are both reliable and traceable back to recognized standards. All of this helps us maintain quality and consistency in our work. Let's take a moment to understand why calibration truly matters. Calibration ensures that our measurements are not only accurate, but also consistent over time. This consistency is crucial because it helps maintain the quality of our products and ensures safety across various industries. When we calibrate instruments properly, we support traceability to national and international standards, which means our measurements can be trusted worldwide. Additionally, proper calibration reduces risks, whether in manufacturing, pharmaceuticals, or laboratory settings, by catching errors early and preventing costly mistakes. Now, you might be wondering, what exactly is calibration? It's essentially a comparison process where we check an instrument against a reference standard that is known to be accurate. This comparison helps us identify any deviations or errors in the instrument's performance. If we find discrepancies, we can then adjust the instrument or simply document how it's performing. The key output of this process is a calibration certificate, which not only confirms that the instrument is working properly, but also includes the measurement uncertainty, giving us confidence in the results we rely on daily. Let's start by understanding what errors are. In measurement, an error is simply the difference between the measured value and the true value. It's like when you weigh something and get a reading, but that reading isn't perfectly accurate. Errors can be categorized into three main types. First, we have systematic errors, also known as bias. These are consistent and repeatable inaccuracies that can often be traced back to calibration issues or equipment flaws. Then, there are random errors, which are more unpredictable and caused by factors like environmental fluctuations or human variability. Lastly, we have gross errors, which are typically human mistakes such as misreading an instrument or recording data incorrectly. Now, why is understanding errors important? Because it ties directly into regulatory standards and norms that ensure measurement reliability and quality. For example, ISO IEC 17025 is a standard for testing and calibration laboratories to maintain competence and consistent results. ISO 9001 focuses on quality management systems across organizations, promoting continuous improvement. Additionally, there's the GUM, or Guide to the Expression of Uncertainty in Measurement, which provides a framework for quantifying and expressing measurement uncertainty clearly. And finally, national traceability, like NABL in India, ensures that measurements are linked back to recognized standards, giving confidence in the results. All these standards and norms help us control and understand errors better, ultimately ensuring the accuracy and reliability of our measurements, which is essential for maintaining quality and trust in our work. When we talk about sources of errors and uncertainty in measurements, it's important to understand that there are several factors at play. First, instrument limitations such as resolution and drift can impact the accuracy of our readings. Resolution refers to how finely an instrument can measure, while drift indicates how the measurement might change over time, even without any actual change in the parameter being measured. Environmental factors also play a significant role. Variations in temperature and humidity can affect both the instrument and the object we're measuring, introducing additional uncertainty. We can't forget about operator influence. How we handle or read the instrument can introduce some variability as well. Calibration standards are another critical point. Their accuracy directly impacts the reliability of our measurements, so using well-maintained, properly calibrated standards is essential. The measurement method itself can also introduce errors. Different techniques might have varying levels of precision and accuracy. Now, let's shift gears a bit and talk about what we mean by uncertainty. It essentially quantifies the doubt we have in any measurement. No measurement is perfect or exact. We express this doubt as an plus or minus value, like plus or minus 0, 5 degrees Celsius, which gives a range where the true value likely lies. We also specify a confidence level, often 95%, which indicates how confident we are that the true value falls within that range. The key takeaway here is that every measurement has some degree of uncertainty. Recognizing and understanding this helps us interpret our data more accurately and make better informed decisions based on those measurements. Now, let's discuss some common sources of error and uncertainty that we need to be aware of in our measurements. First, instrument resolution and drift can significantly affect our results. Instruments have limits to how precisely they can measure, and over time, they may drift from their calibration, introducing errors. Environmental conditions also play a crucial role. Variations in temperature and humidity can impact the performance of our instruments and the stability of samples, so controlling or at least monitoring these factors is essential. Another important aspect is the handling by analysts. Human factors, such as how samples are prepared or how instruments are operated, can introduce variability. Proper training and standardized procedures help minimize this. Reference standard uncertainty is also a key consideration. When using standards to calibrate or verify our methods, we need to account for their inherent uncertainties. Method variability is another source. No method is perfect, and small differences in procedures can lead to different results. That's why validation and consistency are so important. Now, turning to regulatory expectations, organizations like the USB and other authorities set clear standards. Instruments must be calibrated at defined intervals to ensure ongoing accuracy. Certified reference standards, which are traceable to national standards, should always be used to improve confidence in your results. Documentation of uncertainty is vital as well. It demonstrates that you understand and have accounted for potential errors in your measurements. Finally, alignment with key regulatory guidelines is essential. This includes following USB general chapters, such as 41 and 1251, adhering to FDA 21 CFR Part 211 regulations, and complying with ICH Q2, R2 guidelines. These standards help ensure that our analytical methods are robust, reliable, and compliant with industry expectations. All right, let's look at some examples to understand error calculation better. Suppose we have a true temperature value of 100 degrees Celsius. Now, if our measured value is 98 degrees Celsius, we can find the error by subtracting the true value from the measured value. So 98 minus 100 equals -2. This tells us that our instrument reads 2 degrees low. Essentially, the error here is -2 degrees, indicating a slight underestimation. Recognizing these errors is crucial because it helps us identify how accurate our measurements are and whether we need to calibrate our instruments. Remember, small errors like this can add up, especially in precise measurements, So understanding how to calculate and interpret them is key in any experimental setup. Let's take a look at some additional examples of balance calibration, as outlined in USP 41. Here, we've got a standard weight of exactly 100 grams. When we measure it on the balance, the actual reading shows 99.995 grams. This difference gives us an error of minus 0.005 grams, meaning the balance is showing a slightly lower value than the true weight. In other words, the balance exhibits a negative bias. Understanding these small discrepancies is crucial because they can impact the accuracy of your measurements. Regular calibration and checking help ensure your balance provides reliable results, which is fundamental for maintaining quality and compliance in your processes. Now let's talk about the practical impact of calibration issues in pharma. When calibration is off, it can lead to incorrect assay results. And these inaccuracies can affect critical quality attributes like content uniformity, dissolution, and potency. Essentially, if our calibration is not accurate, it might cause us to reject a batch or even recall it, which can be costly and time-consuming. Next, let's look at how we interpret compliance. We need to check whether our results fall within the USB tolerance limits. If the error plus the uncertainty exceeds those limits, then we consider the instrument to be out of calibration, or OOC. This triggers the need for investigation and corrective action. It's crucial to identify the root cause of the calibration drift and address it promptly to maintain product quality and compliance. So, overall, accurate calibration isn't just a technical detail. It's fundamental to ensuring the safety, efficacy, and quality of our pharmaceutical products. Let's now focus on some best practices to ensure our calibration processes are reliable and trustworthy. First, periodic calibration with traceability is crucial. This means regularly checking our equipment against recognized standards to maintain accuracy over time. It's all about ensuring our measurements are consistent and verifiable. Next, maintaining clear calibration SOPs and logs helps create a transparent record of what's been done and when. This not only supports accountability, but also makes audits smoother. Evaluating uncertainty scientifically is another key point. By understanding and quantifying the potential errors in our measurements, we can better assess the reliability of our data and make informed decisions. Data integrity is fundamental, and that's where the ALCOA Plus principles come into play, ensuring data is attributable, legible, contemporaneous, original, and accurate, with additional safeguards for completeness, consistency, and availability. Regular training of personnel is also vital. Well-trained staff are more likely to follow procedures correctly and recognize issues early. All these practices tie back to our overall goal: maintaining high-quality, reliable calibration processes that uphold the integrity of our data and support our compliance efforts. Let's wrap things up with some key takeaways. Errors are inevitable in any measurement process, but what's important is how we control them. Managing errors effectively ensures the accuracy and reliability of our results. Uncertainty, on the other hand, isn't just a nuisance. It's a fundamental part of building confidence in what we measure. By understanding and quantifying uncertainty, we can trust our data more deeply. Now, when it comes to our unique selling points and meeting regulatory standards, there are a few critical requirements. First, accurate calibration is essential. Without it, our measurements can drift and lead to questionable data. Second, documenting uncertainty is just as important. Being transparent about the level of confidence in our results helps maintain trust and compliance. Finally, reliable measurement systems are the backbone of this entire process, ensuring consistency and integrity across our operations. So, in essence, controlling errors and understanding uncertainty are vital for delivering trustworthy results that meet both our internal standards and external regulations. This holistic approach ultimately supports our commitment to quality and excellence in all that we do. For further support, please don't hesitate to reach out to us. We're here to help with any questions or additional assistance you might need. feel free to contact us through the provided channels. And with that, I want to sincerely thank you all for your time and attention today. Your engagement is truly appreciated. Remember, we're always here to support you as you move forward. Thank you once again.